Welcome back to another episode of Broker's Playbook. Today, I am delighted to invite one of my very good friends and longtime business associates, Mr. Michael Sarracini, the CEO of Keyspire. Keyspire is an investor, a real estate investor education company, and they have been at it for over 15 years, coast to coast in our great country, educating and empowering investors. Why would he be on Broker's Playbook? Well, ask me how I know. Myself and my partner have been at the helm of the biggest investment-focused firm in the country, providing real estate services to those who look at real estate differently. Michael Sarracini and his partner have been at the front of empowering and educating investors of how to look at real estate differently, which means more than just a place to live. A tool on building wealth, generational wealth at that. And today we're going to break down how we, as real estate professionals, can leverage all his life's work and what to look for in building businesses that are resilient to market changes. And of course, looking at relationships more than transactions, looking at our clients as a lifetime of serving their wealth building needs and being there to support them throughout the process. Welcome to Broker's Playbook. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been good. I can't believe we've been doing this for 10 years together, more than 10 years.
More than 10 years
Holy
together.
cow.
It's been a minute. It's since before Keyspire.
Yeah.
It was Lifetime
Wealth Academy. That's right.
Lifetime Wealth Academy. I mean, it's been years. Literally what? It's been over 12 years?
Yeah.
12 years?
Yeah. I guess 12 years.
It's incredible. I want to coin you today. I want to use a term, the godfather of investment real estate.
Okay.
And I'm doing it for an absolute purpose. There has been nobody in this country that's done it bigger. I want you to use your words to tell our audience, which is predominantly real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, insurance professionals, all in the real estate space. And I'm going to take out of you today what the essence of my practice. Myself and Jazz have been at the forefront of investment in real estate for almost 20 years, 18 years. And you have been coast to coast, super loud, empowering everyday people to look at the world differently. Tell me about what you do, why you started, how you started.
Yeah, great question. And, I got to say, I love working with investment-focused realtors. That's why we've had such a great relationship. And they're a big part of our community, a big value add. It's absolutely amazing. And they really fill that gap that we don't offer as a coaching and a coaching company and a community. We really need the partners to help our members take what we teach them and go out and transact. So absolutely love working with the execution partner, right? Which is really important. I think what makes us unique, I know what makes us unique in the marketplace as a coaching and education company and community is the fact that we aren't attracting members that want to be 100 millionaires or billionaires. All right, we're not attracting people that want private jets in their own island. I mean, that's all great, but that's not us. We attract people that just want a bigger future. They just want to be more in control of their future. And that's actually our mission, is to put people in control of their future, not to make them insanely rich, not to get them 10 homes. For some people that's in control, but just be in control of your future.
People confuse get rich fast with real estate, and it's the exact opposite. It's get rich slow.
Our pitch is get rich slow, right. which isn't as enticing to, but the people that get it, they get it. They're like, yeah, I resonate with that. And we have something called Lifestyle Freedom Day at Keyspire. And some people know it as the bad word around my world, which is retirement. I don't like the R word. I don't like using the word retirement. The reason is when you look at the definition of retirement, It means to be no longer of use. So we think about, oh, I want to retire young. I want to retire. Does anyone really want to be no longer of use? Is that really the goal? And after doing real estate for 24 years and building and nurturing our community for over 14 years, I realized that that's not the goal of people, to retire, to be no longer of use. People want something we call Lifestyle Freedom Day. It's the day where their passive income equals their expenses. Very simple. And that is our number one goal, is to get people's passive income to equal their expenses. And I think that's why we resonate so well within the marketplace, not only in Canada and the US, because it's real. It's like, there's nothing fake about it. It's like, if we need 200 grand a year to live, let's find a way to passively make 200 grand a year by getting rich slow.
So this leads me to a self-fulfilling prophecy here. So if you're instilling this beautiful goal into people, which is literally, you're not looking forward to retirement, you're looking for the day that your passive income can match your income today or your expenses today, where you can ride into the sunset without having to compromise.
That's right.
Without having to step down.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this, because RSPs, the definition of an RSP is to make as little as possible, to pay as little tax as possible, and live as less as possible.
Yeah.
You teach something very different.
Yeah.
So if you are successful in instilling Lifestyle Freedom Day, D-Day, retirement day, call it whatever you want it, that day, for somebody to succeed in doing so, a real estate consultant, not a real estate agent, needs to be involved.
Yeah.
Tell me how important the investment-focused realtor is to enabling Lifestyle Freedom Day in your clients.
Yeah, great question. So to get to Lifestyle Freedom Day, it's not 6 months, it's not a year. It takes 5 or 10 or maybe sometimes 15 years. It takes time to get there. And the investment-focused realtor, if they can build that relationship right off the bat at day one, they now have a client for 5 or 10 or 15 years and beyond. So that relationship is so important. That relationship becomes the quarterback. And I always call my realtor is my quarterback in the deal. If they can be the quarterback and carry my team and help me through all of these pieces that I don't either know how to do or don't, when you're starting off, you don't know how to do them. And later on, you just don't want to do them. You want to focus on your uniqueness and have somebody else take care of that. That investment-focused realtor is extremely important. They're a critical part of the team.
What are the common qualities necessary to service? So let's talk about the common denominators across all investment asset classes in real estate: income property, short-term rental, pre-construction, new construction, multifamily. At the end of the day, it's all bricks and mortar. No matter how, they're all extremely unique and extremely different in many senses, and we'll get to that. But what are the common things needed for a realtor to be able to service the needs of somebody looking at real estate, not as an end user? What is the investor mindset? What does the investor agent need to know?
It all starts with going into the conversation with that investor mindset as an agent. I've been to some showings where agents are going into it with a consumer mindset, right? That's somebody that wants to buy their home. They're going to move in with their family. The color of the granite countertops is important to that group of people. The newly renovated bathroom with the wainscoting exactly the way they like it's important to that group of people. But when you're going with investors, those aren't the things to focus on. So the first thing that a realtor would want to do is have that investor lens themselves. So when you're walking through the property, you're not focusing on the things that aren't important to the investor and their goals. You are focusing on things that are important to the investor. So you want to talk about how, what I would want to hear from an investor-focused realtor are things like how the layout and how the materials impact the rent and therefore impact my return. How things might be over-improved or under-improved. Over-improvement is, some properties that might have a pool in the backyard, that might be an over-improvement because people don't want the pool. It's too much to take care of. I remember I would buy student rentals and I would take out the pool. I'd actually fill it in. More backyard and no liability, and they don't want the pool. They don't want to take care of it. Those are some over improvements that. And
an over improvement can be as simple as walking to a gorgeous unit that has Brazilian jatoba on the floors.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks fantastic. Yes, you'll get a premium for the first 2 years, but after the tenants kick the living daylights out of that Brazilian jatoba,
Yeah.
it'll take you thousands of dollars to remove it and thousands of dollars to do a new install.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was not done at all and I spent $8 a foot of putting down beautiful vinyl flooring, it's going to be there for 10 years,
Yeah.
maximizing my return
Yeah.
forevermore.
Yeah.
So we just have to be mindful of our audience, our tenant audience, what they value, and of course those over improvements and what it costs to replace them.
Yeah, and you're paying for these improvements on the entry, right? You get it's got beautiful wood panels throughout the whole house that's like looks executive level oak and mahogany, and a tenant's not going to value that, but you might pay an extra $100,000 because of the trim, all this beautiful crown molding. So those are over improvements. On the other side, we really want to look for under improvements or ways to add value. And we always like to say at Keyspire is you're not going to find value. You're going to find a way to create value. There's very often that people list on MLS, or list online. It's like, oh, here's a property where you can buy it for $500,000, add $100,000 of value. It's going to be worth $800,000. I mean, it doesn't not listed like that. So you as the investor have to find those places to add value. And if an investment realtor can pre-find those and show them to me, they become extremely valuable.
So Michael, this is a perfect set to lead me into some very exciting developments that we're working on. Broker's Playbook is behind an absolutely visionary suite of products. I'm not going to say disruptive because we're not there yet, but the visionary actions that we've taken is we've been able to develop AI and investor metrics that get automatically applied to properties on the market. The very first version of this is actually with our brokerage, and I'm a Royal LePager. And my practice for those watching from outside of Canada or throughout Canada for that matter, my practice in the Greater Toronto area. And I'm with a brokerage called Royal LePage, which is Canada's biggest real estate brokerage. In working with their executive team, we're able to put the very first iteration of the Playbook group of companies, artificial intelligence, out to the market. And that is now in live production with investment-focused realtors graduating the Playbook course, the masterclass that we built. So the investor mindset, which is the investor community has been underserviced. And I'm not talking about commercial realtors, because commercial realtors do a great job servicing the needs of REITs, servicing the needs of $1 million multifamily buildings, etc. But the retail investor, the people that you teach how to invest in real estate, is what myself and my partner Jazz called the missing middle for the last 18 years. Mm-hmm. The residential agent is not qualified or knowledgeable enough to run a pro forma, to have a due diligence checklist, to run the value add of specific components, of the myriad of components that can affect a transaction. Well, the commercial agent is too busy and not able to take on a smaller mandate. Mm-hmm. Because the same type of work they have to do for a 150 unit building is the same work we have to do to make sure to protect the interest of Mr. and Mrs. Smith looking to buy a duplex downtown Toronto. Mm-hmm. So we have taken the exact approach you're taking for the retail investor, because you're the consumer. We have taken a Broker's Playbook for the actual real estate professional. Yeah. And we're teaching them exactly the steps needed for them to establish a consultancy mindset, to do a professional intake, to say, Michael, come into my office on Monday. We're not talking at a party about your retirement goals, your lifestyle freedom day. We're going to give it the respect it deserves, and you're going to come into my office on Monday morning, and I'm going to take you through what we have as a professional intake. And we're going to develop a real estate action plan. Mm-hmm. And all the things that you've taught them now come into play. Yeah. Now they can see how the whole thing is forming. Me as an agent every single one of my brothers and sisters across the country who have the opportunity to do this. Visit brokersplaybook.com and take a look at what's available to you. What they can do is they can learn exactly the questions to ask, the way they need to think to match the investor who is typically more educated than them, which can happen under any circumstance.
Yeah, yeah.
Our job is to provide value, to protect them.
Yeah, not learn from the investor.
And sometimes protect them from themselves.
Yeah.
Because investors, many cases, can be very excited. Because it's exciting to be able to buy a property, create cash flow from it, create equity and generational wealth from it. But how do we protect our clients? So there are tools right now that we've developed that are in play. Just like the tools, where do investors get the tools for your side? Keyspire.com?
Yeah, at Keyspire.com, we have a number of free resources that go anywhere from free all the way to our annual mastermind program, which is like the Cadillac of being in a community.
And the reason I'm mentioning this is because whether it's consumers listening right now that want to learn about investment real estate, but agents can also put their own interests first. Meaning as an investor, if you are a realtor right now that does not own a property, maybe this could be a good first place for you to learn the advantages of how this will change your life, because you are changing lives every day.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love it. I'm super excited to what we've done. We have a tremendous amount of assets, templates, resources, and of course, courses for agents to learn how to do this very thing. And I'm super excited to see how our collaboration is going to go.
Yeah. I love what you're doing with Brokers Playbook, because you're giving agents the edge that they need, so that they're not, even if they're investor agents, they still don't have, you still need the framework in order to interact with the clients to create that long-term 5, 10, 15-year relationship of transactions, so that you can continue to have them coming back. And the other thing about investors is we've got friends that are investors.
You're
right?
become part of their life.
Yeah.
You are a crucial component of their actual life success and life's journey. So not only are you not selling the one home and then waiting 5 years for the next one, you're speaking to them multiple times a year about multiple opportunities. And then, of course, you said they have their friends.
And then they got friends, investors. And if a realtor treats me right, or somebody treats me right, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell my friends. I'm going to say, you got to talk to this person because they're crushing it for me.
And you also want to share your success. People automatically, we are default wired to celebrate our success and typically, unfortunately, hide our failures, which is something you're changing as well, because you want people to celebrate their lessons in life as much as their successes.
Learn from my mistakes. Don't make them yourself.
Correct. But most people don't. But what people do is they celebrate their successes. So if you are making your clients win, you have a lot to gain from people referring you and otherwise contributing to your further success. I have a note here that you have created a specific program, and it's called the Path to Results. Tell me what the Path of Results is, and tell me how a real estate agent can benefit from being an advisor to somebody's path to results.
Yeah, the path to results for us at Keyspire has come out of 14 years of experience. We did the numbers earlier this week, and we're over 250,000 Canadian investors educated, and approaching 100,000 American investors. We've even had investors in Australia and around the world that we've educated, but that's not our niche. Is going to be Canada and the US. And so over all of those experiences, we've not only collected quantitative data, but we have qualitative data. We have conversations, and we've learned over all of that there's 3 steps that we can bring somebody through to get them successful. And it's information, education, and implementation. Too often people want to start at implementation. And I mean, they do often. Let's just go buy a property, or let's just go buy a business, or let's just go get married.
That's where the mistakes
without dating.
That's right.
Right. So you got to collect information first. So what we do at Keyspire, the way we found that we can do that, and agents can do the same thing, is we add value for free first. We have free masterclass, we got free resources, and we just educate. We give people free information. And then those that are interested in that topic or information, then the next part is to get educated. And some people say, well, what's the difference between information and education? Information is passive. So I'm just reading a bunch of stuff. Education is more active. So we actively do workshops where people will walk through activities and they'll actually do the work on individual activities. Then they'll mastermind with each other. That's the education component of actually learning by doing.
Interactive,
Yeah.
and it sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of our 3 uniques at Keyspire is experiential learning. People learn through experiences, not only through just watching a YouTube video or reading a book. That's the information part. Then we have education, which is where people learn through experiences. And then, but you still haven't made any money. So we got to actually get some traction. And so the way we do that is we get into implementation where the rubber meets the road, where you're actually taking those experiences that you've learned and now you're going and doing them in the real world. So that's our 3-step path to results: information, education, implementation. And we like to make sure that our members go through those steps intentionally in that order to give them the most amount of chance for success with the least probability of risk.
And what a wonderful, like for anybody who has any issue dissecting this, imagine that I'm going to speak for our personal experience, that for the last 15 years that we've worked together, I have a client that is coming to us at implementation. They have spent the last 1 year, 2 years listening, dreaming, practicing, figuring it all out. And I get a phone call to say, Simeon, meet Jose. Jose is not only excited to work with me, he's excited to start his real estate journey. Imagine as a real estate professional, you have somebody who's super qualified, eager, and ready to make a move.
Ready to go. That's the key. Yeah.
I have lived this for 15 years, hundreds of transactions we've done, thousands of transactions we've done together. And this is my message to our entire audience. By positioning yourself in front of opportunity, you create results. But opportunity is not going to be seen by somebody who doesn't have the lens to see it, to identify it. Preparation is what causes opportunity. If somebody who just sells homes to people that come from Google meets Jose, who spent 2 years with you guys getting prepped, qualified, and ready to buy a fourplex, they will never see Jose. But if they are going to networking events, if they are asking questions, if they seek education in investment-focused real estate, they will not only see Jose, they will fight for Jose to protect him, to transact him, to ensure that he's able to do it again, to make sure that Jose works with the best investment-focused mortgage broker, to make sure that their financing is the best it can be, to make sure that Jose has the appropriate insurance in the case something happens. That if he finds a property with a pool, like you said earlier, let's fill that pool in. Because the only thing it can cause is issues and liability, not memories.
Yeah, and not more money either.
And not more
rent.
Either.
Yeah.
I love that. Building a reputation as an investor specialist. How would you recommend a realtor go about the world to build their reputation? So let's say Anthony, the realtor, listens to this podcast. He's inspired. He's interested. Sure, I can add another dozen deals a year just by educating my database.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call the people that I've sold homes to for the last 10 years and tell them that, hey, today I'm calling for a different reason. I know you're happy in your home, but that equity in your home can be working for you 10 times harder.
Yeah.
I figured that all out. How do I market that? How do I market that to my audience? What is effective? What is not salesy? How do you go about it? What would you want to see a realtor position themselves as?
Let's start with that word reputation, because it's a really important word in the world. Your reputation takes 10 years to build and it could be gone in 10 seconds. So, understanding that the reputation is all you have in business and in life. It's you can change the name of your company, you can change the name of your business, you can change the name of your podcast, whatever, but you can never change your name. And so the reputation is the most important asset that people have, not money, not anything else. So with that being said, it takes time to build a reputation. in order to build that. The reputation includes all the things: trust, technical knowledge, network. All of that is wrapped in somebody's, and executionable ability and results, proven results, is all part of reputation. And that takes time to build. You don't just run out of the gate, and in the first month you expect to have a great reputation. You got to put in the work. So that's like step one of having a great reputation, is putting in the work. And then once you have that reputation, you've got to protect it at all costs. You don't ever lie or mislead. You don't ever think that you know an answer when you don't. You don't ever do things that are against the values of your business. I know people talk about that sometimes, and it sounds like wishy-washy, like the values, sure, my core values. But if you go against the values of your business, eventually you are going to ruin your reputation.
Well, I will tell you, you would not have a reputation to begin with if you don't have core values.
You have to.
So anybody who laughs at creating a proper business plan with core values, a mission statement, and a growth strategy, I mean, you're dead in the water. This is not, we're in 2024 and 2025. You don't have those types of luxuries. No,
you have to. And there's ways you can framework things like this as the starting point, just like you create a lot of frameworks with Brokers Playbook in your Playbook ecosystem. What we do at Keyspire is we have frameworks around this. So for example, I created about a decade ago something called Michael's decision-making filter. So I said, when I make a decision, and this will happen to everyone as more opportunities come available, what is the criteria on how I accept an opportunity or make a decision? And, there's a financial component, there's a fun component, and then there's a values component. Like, am I going to make $1 on things I don't believe in? Am I going to make $1 on things that aren't necessarily part of my lifestyle, in terms of family and fitness and finances? So I created something called Michael's decision-making filter. And every time I have to make a opportunity-based decision, I run it by this filter so that I make consistent and desirable decisions. So that's something that anybody can do, is create their own decision-making filter. And all of that going to say that protects your reputation. That filter doesn't let you take on opportunities that don't align with furthering a good reputation. So that's where we start with reputation. Once we have that in line, well, how do we get to now? What was the second part of your question? We got so much fun on reputation. I forget where we were.
Well, no, it's a matter of how to market and position yourself as a brand.
So once you get there,
when you're trying to establish yourself from a realtor to an investment-focused consultant.
Yeah. So once you've got that, you're going with this lens of building and protecting your reputation. Now it comes to adding value first. And this is something with the information education implementation model is, before you call a client and just say, hey, I got a property, do you want to buy it? How do you add value? And for every professional, it's a little bit different. Some professionals are crushing it on podcasts and Instagram and, social media. Some professionals are crushing it on direct mail, just sending, value. Some send a pumpkin every house. Like, this is different for everyone. To me, there's no formula. It's just, how do you add value that shines within your unique ability and with what people want? And as you're adding value and building that reputation, now you don't, you don't have to go to your clients and try and make a sale or a transaction. They're going to come to you. They're going to be like,
so let me ask you this, because I think this might lead to a very clean and straightforward answer. What are the top qualities a realtor must have for you specifically to work with them? So if I want you to work with me, what do you look for in Simeon before you make a decision to say, get out there?
So let me think about that.
Sure.
What are the top qualities if I'm going to work with a realtor? Okay, number one, I've got to like them. I know that goes above technical knowledge, because somebody could be great at what they do, but if I don't like them, if I'm not having fun, if I don't enjoy my day, then fuck it, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So I got to like them. And being likable is like it's a topic that we won't get into, but you just got to be a good person, right? You got to find the people you connect best with. So I got to like them. I want experience. So I'm not at a stage in my life where I want people to learn on me. I don't want to be, the student demonstration. I want people to have experience. So they got to be likable. They've got to have experience.
Proven track record.
And they have to have the technical knowledge in order to speak the same language as me. So you can have a ton of experience, but you don't have technical knowledge because maybe somebody else does all the work, or you haven't even done it yourself. So those are the three things I would say come to mind. For me personally would be that I have to like working with them. They have to have experience, and I want to have some technical knowledge around the numbers.
leads me to my next question. Where would you suggest that a real estate professional, or what would you suggest a real estate professional does to start either accumulating that experience, learning about investment real estate? How does one go about it? Because I know I have an answer, clearly. But Save and Accept Brokers Playbook. Where can a real estate professional go to gain some of this knowledge?
Well, that's why you created Brokers Playbook,
Correct.
right? That's the that's the plug. That's the place.
That's the plug.
Right? But even stepping back, you have to have a place to go. I'll say there's two ways. There's two ways you can do it. You can take the time and gain the experience and just learn it all, and that's doable. Like, take the 10 years.
Where do they go? Where can a real estate professional go?
I would say, well, the number one is like the school of hard knocks. It's the trial and error method. And that's always an option, whether you want to be healthier or wealthier or be better at being an investor-focused realtor. You could just start doing it and make the mistakes along the way. And after 10 or 15 years, you're going to be proficient at what you do. The second path is compressing time by learning about other people's mistakes, borrowing what we call OPE, other people's experiences. So you don't have to experience everything yourself. You could borrow other people's experiences and say, okay, I get it.
Do you believe in mentorship?
Been through that.
Do you believe in mentorship?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then there's the idea of coaching and mentoring, which are slightly different, but extremely valuable. So if I was starting out and I wanted to be an investor-focused realtor, I wouldn't do it myself and just learn it. That's how I learned when I started. I spent 5 years learning on my own. I didn't have I'm not a realtor, but I didn't have a Broker's Playbook. I didn't have a Keyspire. I needed to do it all on my own. So I understand how long that takes and how hard that is. The good news is I was 20 years old, so I had a little more time.
For sure.
But connecting with somebody, the mentor-apprentice relationship is a proven relationship for 100,000 years. Somebody knows how to do something, somebody doesn't. The person that doesn't works very closely with the person that does, and they learn how to do it, and they transfer that knowledge and experience. That's the mentor-apprentice relationship. And it's extremely powerful.
And I believe in mentorship. I was so lucky and blessed to have one of the best in the business ever. And that's my late partner, Simon, be my mentor in the beginning of my career. And it's something that has created who I am today. And all the success that we have experienced and earned is on the foundation of what he taught us. And that's not maybe, that's fact on fact. I attribute all our success on those fundamental teachings by our mentor. With that same sentence that just left my mouth, about a week ago, I had a very senior agent say, I love what you're doing, Simeon. I want to be a part of it. Love it. Very interested. I'm like so excited for them. I was like, yeah, buddy, like join us, like do the thing. Like, let's go. I can't do it right now though. I'm just going to fake it till I make it in investment real estate. I literally choked on the inside. If you want to fake it till you make it as a male model, no problem. There's no harm in that.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it while guiding somebody with the average transaction in the GTA, or in Canada for that matter, is over $800,000. In the GTA, over 1.2.
The stakes are a little higher than, yeah.
For you to fake it until you make it, I didn't say nothing because it would just erupt into a disaster. But knowing that there are people out there, many people out there, and if there's one thing that anybody gets from today is do not, under any circumstance, fake this type of real estate transaction till you make it, because you will ruin someone's life.
Yep.
The responsibility and liability for guiding someone's future is significant. The education that you provide consumers is significant. The education our organization supplies is one that teaches conservative values, always using realistic and or conservative assumptions, because the only thing that we have seen in the last 20 years is change, rapid change. And when people try to time the market, this is something that we took from you, from your organization. timing the market versus time in the market.
Yeah.
That's something that the first time I heard it, literally, I had an aha moment. Because it's the key to it all.
Yeah.
Get rich slow, not get rich quick.
Yeah.
Do not fake it till you make it. Learn, take the time to invest in yourself, and serve with absolute conservative values and stable guidance. What else would you like to add to close this off to our brothers and sisters in the business?
Yeah. So fake it till you make it. It's what people do. It's different if you're an investor investing in your own projects, your own properties, and you just try and go on your own. We see that on the investor side because we help investors. And they try and fake it. They save some money, education, community, right? Save a little bit of money. But if you're going to fake it till you'll make it, you could lose $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 of your own money. And,
quickly.
And probably will, right? Because this is not like, you don't just go figure, you're not just born with how to do real estate. It's very different if you're working with clients' money. And you can't just fake it till you make it with other people's lives, other people's investments. And so that reputation we talked about that's so important, takes so many years to build, you destroyed it year one. And unless you're going to change your name, you're out of business for the rest of your life if you do that right off the bat. So getting educated and connected right off the bat is step one. It is step one to learn how to do the business and get connected with the right people.
Michael, thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate all your insight. I wanna start gearing down. Tell me about Keyspire in 2025. What is your organization looking to achieve inside the investor community, inside your organization? Where are you guys headed for 2025?
Yeah, great question. I mean, every year is more exciting than the last. And this time of year right now, we're getting into 2025, and it's super exciting to watch the plans as they start to evolve. But very simply, our mission as a company is to put people in control of their future. We will continue to do that for the next 100 years. We've done that for the last 14 years. Our specialty is our real estate investor community, coaching, and education, but it's more than education. It's really our community. We have the strongest community that I've ever seen. They're so loyal to each other. I absolutely just love being around them. And so 2025 brings growing that mastermind community, solidifying that community. We have a great mastermind program. We meet every single quarter, and we take a look at the last 90 days on how we did, and we take a look at the next 90 days and what we're going to accomplish. And those 90 days chunk, we call it the 90-day focus. This 90-day focus is what allows our community to make more progress, faster, and more meaningful and impactful contributions to society than anything I've ever seen.
That's incredible. And above and beyond our courses that teach realtors how to service your community members, literally.
Yeah.
It's the playbook on it. What would you say the value is for a realtor to actually get involved in educating themselves as an investor themselves through your community?
Yeah, we have a lot of realtors that come through, and they'll either be realtors that have never been an investor before. They're like, I want to learn the language, and I want to talk to my potential new clients, like see where their mind is at. Like, it's the smallest investment to get you the biggest lift, being part of an investor community as an investor-focused realtor. It's like, I mean, come on, one transaction, is going to pay for your entire involvement in the future. So it's an investment. But then also learning the language, learning the skills, learning the numbers, so that when you're out there talking to investors, you can show them what a good investment property looks like. But that's half the story. You also have to get educated as a realtor, as a transactional engineer, which is not so much what we do. We help investors work with transactional engineers. So I'm a believer you need both sides. You need like a Keyspire style education to learn how the investor does it. And then you need like a broker's playbook style education to learn how the broker does it. And I'll just leave you with this thought. I don't know if I told you this. I did my realtor courses. Like there was 3 phases at the time. This was like 20 years ago. Yeah. I'm like a course junkie. Like I love it. I love taking all the courses. So I went all to the point where, you finish all the courses, you write the exam, but you have to I think you have to be with a broker to actually get certified. I just didn't do that part because I didn't want to be a realtor.
The 2-year, it was a 2-year period where you have to be with a brokerage and do
I just stopped there. But my point being that I know how realtors are educated because I did it myself with no intention of being a realtor, but I wanted to learn how they were educated. And I know that the way that the system educates you is good for transacting with a first-time home buyer or helping someone buy their home, but it is not there for investors. There's nothing in the courses for investors.
Nothing.
Right? So you need, if you want to be an investor-focused realtor, you want to elevate your game, you want to do 10 transactions a year per client instead of one, you need to spend a little bit of, you got to invest in yourself a little bit.
I like the advice. I want to mention one thing that I didn't before, but thank you for closing in on that, because that's exactly what the Broker's Playbook promise is that you don't need to go spend 10 grand a month on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram.
On the ads, right? You talk about like paid ads.
You can make all the ads in the world, and ads do fuel your business.
Yeah.
But you don't need to spend money when you're sitting on 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people in your database that like you, trust you, know you. If you were to call the clients you sold a home to 5 years ago and remind them that you specifically sold them a house that today is worth $250,000 more, and they can take $100,000 out of that equity and put it to work at a 5x leverage.
Yeah.
And what that does, if you can show them through why that makes sense, you can add 10, 20, 30, 40 transactions in a single year.
Without a marketing dollar.
Without a marketing dollar. Just some hard work.
Yeah.
So our slogan is, the best deal you'll ever do is the deal that you create. So if you as an agent were to go online today, identify 5 properties that have the potential for a real estate investor to purchase, and then reach out to your database, the chances of you doing a deal are significant. This is what we teach at Broker's Playbook.
Beauty.
This is what you teach at Keyspire.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything you've brought to the show today. Thank you for being you, and I look forward to having you again this time next year, where you will talk about the Investor Summit 2024 versus Investor Summit 2025.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Thanks.